Stephanie Bain. I have a books. I'm a book nerd. There's so many books. Hello everyone. Stephanie here. It's that time of year where I bring to you my fave of the last 4. If you haven't seen one of these videos of mine in the past, pretty much every 4 months I just tell you my top 5 favorite books that I've read, and it just helps me narrow down my top 10 at the end of the year. So this is kind of really just for me, but I thought I'd share with you what my favorite 4 books were of the last 4 months. So I'm literally just gonna dive into it. There's always an honorable mention, and I have to mention it because I really did absolutely adore this book, and that is Glen Falls Book 1 by Melinda Schlegel. I still don't know if I'm saying that correctly or not, but this is just a book about the first year of college and the parents and how everything just kind of goes together, and it goes deep with some characters. Point is, it left a lasting impression on me. I really did adore the writing. I loved the characters. I liked all the shit that they go through. And I don't read new adult because I usually have such a big issue. But there was just such a nice mix of a cast, and they were so different from one another. I loved it. I really loved it. So this is my honorable mention. Coming in at number 5 is Carvel by Stephanie Garber. I had given this a 4.5 out of 5 stars because even though I had a couple of things I would have changed, I absolutely love this world. This world is magical. It really just gripped and sucked you in, and I'll leave also reviews for everything down below. There's only 2 I didn't review. 3 maybe? I don't know. If I have a review, it'll be down below. But Carvel came in at number 5 because I did have a few issues with some of the characters and some of the pacing towards the end. But this world is fantastic. I love it so much. It's one of those things where you really do get sucked in. I would just imagine it's kind of like how people feel with Harry Potter. That's how I feel with this world. The magic system, how everything happens, the circus. It's creepy and awesome and confusing, but so intriguing. I loved it so much. I really did. I'll definitely leave the review down below so you can find out what it's about also if you don't actually already know. Coming in at number 4 is a classic because your homegirl read one this year and loved it. And that is A Study in Scarlet by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Now, I love Sherlock Holmes. I love the movies, and I love Elementary, the TV show. No, I haven't seen the BBC. I will eventually. I need to now because Doctor Strange happened and now I'm in love with Benedict Cumberbatch. What the fuck? Anyway, this is the first story in the Sherlock Holmes series by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And while the writing is different and it takes a moment to get into it, and I just loved it. I loved this classic. I loved being introduced to Sherlock Holmes and being this is what started it all. This is what started the movies, the shows, just all of the things. It was this, and it was so amazing. I really, really did adore it, and I can't wait to read the second one. I still haven't done it, but it's gonna happen. And I now need to collect all of the books. I would really like them in this exact design, but that's totally random. I really loved it. I gave that a 5 out of 5 stars. Coming in at number 3 was a fantasy that took me by surprise, and that is 3 Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake. I love the politics. I love the world. It's brutal. I love the magic. This was the first read of the year, and holy crap, it was such a great way to start off the year. I, again, don't read a crazy amount of fantasy, and this was just really effing good. Also, really buttery cover. But it really did just, it hooked me and I fucking sunk, okay? I was just gone. I wasn't expecting things, even though it crosses your mind. It was just really good. Really effing good, and I love the characters. There's a little bit of instant romance-y, but I was just I'm all for you, and I just absolutely adored it. I really did. I thought it was great. I really did think it was great. It was my first book I read from Kendar Blake, but I loved this. Coming in at number 4, Number 2 is King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard. I know some people are just I can't believe you like that series. And I'm over here it's amazing. My bed sheet was really weird. I think the series is absolutely amazing. The first book is just like, it got me. I was really into it, right? I'm just like, wow, this is actually really good. And then I read book 2. And I definitely love sequels more than first books most of the time. I like the slower pace. I like the building that it does and all the things that tend to be revealed. And, you know, the reasons why people dislike them is why I like them. But then this book came along and it tore me to pieces. And it was just so good. Her writing got just like, it was so good in this freaking book. The plot thickens and it just like, in such a great way. I feel like people always say the first book's really tropey, and it has tropes. I get that, but I'm sorry, what YA anything does not have tropes? Unless you get out of the YA world, it's gonna have tropes. Like, I love ACOTAR, but that's just fucking full of tropes too, okay? Like, so don't give me that it's tropey. All young adult books have tropes. My thing is how she worked these tropes. Yes, the first book is a lot more simple, but as the series grows, aka this book, it just really got better. It became more of its own, and I personally adore it. I love it, and it tore me to pieces, and my ship may never fucking sail, but that's totally fine. It's okay, but I loved it. I do have a book talk on this. I'll link it down below. But I loved it, I loved it, I loved it, and I cannot wait for the next book. I'm just like, it's gonna kill me. And I hope it gets even bigger because they keep progressively getting bigger, and I love that. And number 1, my all-time favorite of the last 4 months is The Last of August by Brittany Cavallaro. This is the sequel to the Sherlock Holmes series. First off, can I show you how pretty they look together? It's so pretty. I love it so much. I'll leave that there. I did not book talk this or talk this. I read it, I absorbed it, I devoured it, and then I was just kind of like, holy crap. Things happen. My emotions were definitely played with in this freaking book. But Brittany Cavallaro just has this way of writing. I love the characters so much. This continuation literally broke me to pieces because like shit happens and I'm just like, no, don't happen. Don't do that to me. But it was so good. I really did kind of read this a little too fast. It was one of those things where like, oh, I'm gonna take my time. That didn't happen. I read this really quickly. But the series in general, and just since I don't have a review on this, it's a continuation of Sherlock Holmes and John Watson. John, I always forget his name because I just call him Watson. But this is If They Were Real, and it's about their great-great-great-grandchildren, Charlotte and Jamie. I'm blanking out on names, which is usually how it works for me. And I just felt that this one was really good. I liked the things that happened, the mystery. I liked it. Jamie kind of fucked up shit, and I was just like, okay, but like I was totally fine with it because I loved it, and I loved it. But those are my favorite books that I've read the last 4 months. I can't wait to continue reading and bringing my next one in May, June, July, August, September is when I put my next one of those 4 months. So what have you guys read the last few months? What's your absolute favorite you've read so far this year? Comment down below, as curious as I usually is. And I'll see you in my next video. Also, I really like the shirt. Like, my shoulders are so bare. Oh, American Eagle, I like your style.